They've printed a new storm spell from Outlaws of Thunder Junction Commander, and today I'm excited to play it in a Legacy Gruul Storm deck. Let's go check it out. What is that new storm spell? Well, I'm about to tell you. So for 4 red, you get a sorcery with create a 4/4 flying dragon token with prowess Storm. This is actually pretty reminiscent of Hunting Pack from the original Storm set Scourge. So obviously it's a little bit better for a couple of reasons. One, your creatures have flying and prowess. Okay, yeah, pretty huge difference. And then the second thing that makes it better is that it's actually a sorcery. Today we're playing 4 in the main deck, but the reason it's better as a sorcery is that you could play 1 in the sideboard for Burning Wish and then have access to the Elemental Eruption that way. So we're not doing that in today's deck list, but it's an option you do have. And while I owe someone a thank you for today's deck list, Leon sent this in as a donation deck. Leon wanted to see the 5-0 deck list from Guy Bonilla, who's one of the Legacy trophy leaders at all times. They play tons of Legacy, and Guy Bonilla made this deck list happen. So Leon wanted to watch it, and well, that's how you get your deck on this channel. You want to see something, go to theepicstorm.com/donation decks, and well, this happens. So today I'm playing this green-red Storm deck in Legacy. It is based on the Ruby Storm shell with Ruby Medallion, Burning Wish, but a difference here today, no bonus round. Instead, we're playing Elemental Eruption, and, you know, we do have things like Galvanic Relay, a signature card from the Epic Storm, but really, we're trying to accelerate into this powerful sorcery. In order to do that today, we are playing Namesticker Goblin because, unlike Seething Song, which makes 5 mana for 3 red, with Namesticker Goblin, you have the potential to make 6 and immediately cast the Elemental Eruption, creating a bunch of 4/4 Flying Dragon tokens with prowess. Not haste, prowess. I almost slipped up there. So in the sideboard, we do have a Rite of Flame for our Burning Wish. This is one of the small things I don't like about the deck list, if I'm being honest. So the reason to play 3 Rite of Flame in the main deck and 1 in the sideboard is for bonus round lists, when you play a Burning Wish, you can get mana and a payoff. There's no bonus round here, so instead I would like to see this Rite of Flame in the main deck. The list that we're playing today has 3 Shatter Skull Smashing in addition to 14 lands. That's 17 lands. Most lists only play 16, so I think that you could probably cut a land and add this Rite of Flame right into the deck, and you probably wouldn't see any huge difference other than the fact that you could be a little bit faster. So another thing is Shatter Skull Smashing typically sees play as a way to have a land that imprints to Chrome Mox. Today we're not playing Chrome Mox at all. So this is really just a land that's able to be destroyed by Wasteland that lightning bolts you with the small potential to kill a creature. I'm not a big fan of Shatter Skull Smashing, but I understand why it's in the deck. And then one thing that I do like is because we're in green, we get access to Pick Your Poison as a really nice answer to a lot of the problems in the format. And we're playing green because we have Questing Druid in the deck, which is just a nice upgrade over Reckless Impulse or Ren's Resolve, because you do get the body attached that you're able to beat down with. And we are a deck that attacks to win a lot of the time, so an additional powerful threat to win with is pretty good. Another thing that I don't like about this deck list, Tormod's Crypt. I kind of think that these should be Leyline of the Voids. So with Tormod's Crypt and then the Rite of Flame going to the main deck, you could have 4 Leyline of the Void, which is just a lot more impactful against those Reanimator decks, those Ecloveon's combo decks, those sort of things. I get that Tormod's Crypt makes a red with your Birgi God of Storytelling, or you can play it off of a Ren's Resolve. The problem is I think Tormod's Crypt is often too slow. So that's my feedback going in. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong, but that's my, thoughts going into match number 1. I hope that you're interested in watching those matches, and if you are, I will see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We're on the draw in match number 1, and I've opened up a hand that has turn 3 Elemental Eruption. I'm kind of interested in trying this out. I do think that turn 3 might be a little bit slow, so ideally we would draw into a Lotus Petal or an Ancient Tomb or Rite of Flame to make this hand just a little bit more explosive. Turn 1 island. Okay. Into Ponder. You've got it. Our opponent does not shuffle on the Ponder. We'll take a draw here. Burning Wish. That's fine. We'll play the basic Mountain Pass. Fluted Delta, and now they pass the turn. Another Elemental Eruption. Okay. They grab a basic. Are you a High Tide deck? Is that what's happening here? Beating down with 4/4 dragons is probably not super good versus the High Tide deck. Well, they missed land number 3 if they are High Tide. We will fetch, grab a Taiga, and let's play the Questing Druid. I mean, Seek the Beast. The adventure part of Questing Druid. We hit a Name Sticker Goblin. Okay. We'll play the Taiga. Let's attempt the Name Sticker Goblin. Force of Will, exiling Arcane Artisan, so they're actually sneak and show. Okay, we will pass. They pass the turn again. Ruby Medallion. I think we're going to try Name Sticker Goblin again. They have 6 cards in hand. Another Force of Will, exiling Show and Tell. We will pass. They pass the turn again. We find Questing Druid. Play the Ruby Medallion. They drew a Spell Pierce, unfortunate. We have to pass. Our hand has become very clunky. They pass the turn again. Manamorphose. I'm going to play Birgi, God of Storytelling. That resolved, but I have no more mana to play anything, so unfortunately we do have to pass the turn. Our opponent cycles a Lorien Revealed for another basic island. Are you mono blue? Like, are you an Omnitell? No, because they had Arcane Artisan, they have to be multiple colors, I think. We will play Manamorphose. Also, if you're green, now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't hate the idea of playing Veil of Summer. We'll make 1 green mana here. We find a Lotus Petal. Okay. That's going to make a red mana off of the Birgi. Let's try a Seething Song. Let's Seek the Beast. Let's say the correct card names. This is only going to cost us 1 red because the Birgi replaces 1 of the mana. We had a Burning Wish. Let's attempt the Burning Wish, which once again only costs 1 mana. We'll say yes. Let's go grab Rite of Flame. We'll play the Rite of Flame. And now we'll Burning Wish. Term is 7. Yes. And we'll grab... Do we want to do Inspired Tinkering? It might be better than Past in Flames here. Yeah, I think I'm down for Inspired Tinkering. Alright, you haven't... If you have a 3rd counterspell, you haven't used it. Sorry, hitting puberty here. They haven't used it yet. We'll play Rite of Flame. Storm is 9. Play Lotus Petal. And we'll Elemental Eruption for 11 dragons. That's pretty good. Our dragons are resolving. Does this make Birgi the mother of dragons? And then we're also able to play another Elemental Eruption here, so we'll do that. First, we'll play our land tapped. I mean, I could shock myself or lightning bolt myself for 3, but I don't need to. Like, there's no point in taking extra life here to save a Lotus Petal. Alright, we have a army of dragons. Let's go. And I guess I can attack for 3. I'll do that. They drew the 3rd land. Show and Tell. I don't have anything to put into play. Oh no. They have the win. Oh, that is not the win. Okay. Well, this is the win. Unfortunate. So we saw 2 downsides to this game that I would like to point out. So the first downside, Namesticker Goblin is not an instant or sorcery. We could have gotten Past in Flames, but at the time it was Rite of Flame, Seething Song, Manamorphose, and it was not good enough to win. So that was a little bit unfortunate. So Namesticker Goblin not being an instant or sorcery hurt us. The other thing that hurt us here was Questing Druid not being an actual instant or sorcery and going to the graveyard because I couldn't flash this back off of a Past in Flames. So there is some deck building tension here. Our opponent uses Granted. I mean, I'm dead to Echoing Truth if they have it. Enter the Infinite. So that's going to give them Infinite Emrakuls. That's going to be good enough for them to win here. They play another Cunning Wish. And this time they grabbed Echoing Truth. So they went a very long way to change the easy win, but that's fine. We'll go to game number 2. So you could board in Mindbreak Trap, but I'm not sure that's actually good here. Because they're really just going Show and Tell into Omniscience plus Thing. Like, Mindbreak Trap would be a trap to sideboard in. Our Torment Crypts are not that effective. Pick Your Poison is a sorcery, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to bring in either. I'm going to board out one Shatter Skull Smashing and we'll bring in the Rite of Flame for more speed. Let's try this. On the play for game number 2. I don't know what this hand actually does. Like, it has Ancient Tomb, which is nice, but our hand doesn't do anything. We'll send it back. Okay, I think that this hand is fine. We'll keep this, get rid of the Shatter Skull Smashing. Play Arid Mesa. We'll fetch. Grab the Taiga. Rite of Flame. Ruby Medallion. Resolves, love that. We can now pass the turn. There's no point to really going like Rite of Flame Ren's Resolve and hitting 2 perfects. I'd rather just untap and play a little bit more cautiously. We did see Spell Pierce in game number 1. Manamorphose, okay. Play out the Lotus Petal. Let's attempt the Rite of Flame. If they Spell Pierce, I can Manamorphose in response. We'll play the Ren's Resolve. Manamorphose, Elemental Eruption. Let's try the Manamorphose. And they Force of Will Manamorphose. Okay, we'll play another. Seething Song would be our best draw here. Instead, we draw a land. Brutal. Alright, we have to pass exiling the Elemental Eruption. Wait, until your next turn. Yeah, okay, so it will end up in exile. Oh, okay, well, I guess I'm wrong. I get one more turn to play it. It's been a while. So this would give me 2 dragons. Seething Song, why couldn't you be 1 card... deeper isn't the right word. Sooner? Our opponent fetches with Polluted Delta and cycles a Lorien Revealed. Okay. And they pass back after some deliberation. We draw another Ruby Medallion. Not great for us here. I mean, it does pump our dragons a little bit, but not enough to close out the game. Something like a Reckless Impulse would have been probably our best draw there. We'll attack for 10. And they thought again on the end step, but didn't do anything. So I think our opponent likely has a Cunning Wish and they have another land, and they're trying to decide if they want to use the Cunning Wish for Echoing Truth. I'm not really sure. I kind of also think that one of the Elemental Eruptions should probably be in the sideboard, just so that way you can Burning Wish for it. I think that the idea behind this deck is very strong. I just kind of disagree with a little bit of the construction at the moment. But I really do think Elemental Eruption is perfect for these style of Ruby Storm decks. And they're passing the turn again. Questing Druid. Here's the Cunning Wish. Yep. Surprise, surprise. They grab Echoing Truth, so this will put them to 6. You've got it. In our second main phase, we will seek the Beast. And we had a Birgi. But I think we're supposed to play Namesticker Goblin first. So we'll play the Namesticker Goblin. That resolved. We made 6 mana. I will now play the Questing Druid. The question is, should I play Hornfell or Birgi? They're at 6 life. If I play Birgi, we just have lethal next turn. Yeah, it's probably Birgi. Okay, pass. Show and Tell. And Emrakul. Okay. Lotus Petal's not a good draw here. So I can put them to 1. They'll block. Or actually, I put them to 2. Okay. Well, if they block Birgi, they would have gone to 2. So they'll go to 1 now. And now I have 6 permanents. If they attack me, I could sacrifice everything but one of these creatures and then attack back. They swing. I'm going to keep Namesticker Goblin, which seems crazy, but I'm trying to play around everything I can. And I think if I'm playing around everything... Like, our opponent's at 1. I can't think of a reason Birgi is better than Namesticker Goblin. But if they, for some reason, have Karakas in their deck, Birgi could be bounced. So I'm choosing to keep the Namesticker Goblin here. And now they play Preordain. They draw Brainstorm off of the Preordain and cast it. No available blue mana. And they're at 1 life. We're off to game number 3. Okay, we've opened up an incredibly explosive hand. I'm going to keep this. This is turn 1 Namesticker Goblin, Ruby Medallion, Namesticker Goblin, Elemental Eruption. So if they did not keep a hand with counter magic, we can, you know, kind of get to do the thing. They shuffled off the Ponder. Let's see if we're able to go crazy here. Seething Song is a good one. We will Lightning Bolt ourselves, play Rite of Flame, Lotus Petal. They thought for a long time and then let the Lotus Petal resolve. I mean, our hand is one thing. You're not supposed to play afraid of a Force of Will. Like, passing the turn here like a coward doesn't do you any favors. So, ignore the long pauses, just play your spells. And they do, in fact, have a Force of Will, exiling a Spell Pierce. Okay, we will pass. Our opponent plays Preordain into an Ancient Tomb, so they might have a fast combo. We drew a land, which was decent, but we're still multiple turns away from being able to win this game. Play Ruby Medallion. Show and tell. It would be a mistake to put Namesticker Goblin in, so I'm not going to do that. And they have Emrakul. Reckless Impulse is a good draw. We'll start off on Seething Song. Namesticker Goblin. Triggers. How much mana do we make? Okay, so we have 8 mana. Let's Reckless Impulse. Another Namesticker Goblin. We'll play our Taiga. Elemental Eruption for 5. Okay, we pass. If they attack right now, I believe I have lethal. Because I could sacrifice Ruby Medallion, 3 lands, and 2 Namesticker Goblins, attack for 20. Come on, concede the game. Let's see it. They play a basic island. And now they attack. Goodbye Goblins. Goodbye lands. And then goodbye Ruby Medallion. No blocks, I'll go to 1. And now they play Ponder. They shuffled on the Ponder. We win the match. Emrakul is worse than a horde of dragons. You heard it here first. We're officially 1-0 in this Legacy League. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2, we're on the draw. I will keep. This hand's a little bit slow, but slow and steady can win the race. And we have a turn 3 Elemental Eruption, which is pretty good. Ancient Tomb. Chalice of the Void on 1. Okay, Lotus Petal. Our Rite of Flame's no longer useful. We'll play Scalding Tarn, pass. Mox Opal. So is this 8 cast? Frogmite. Okay, this might be the new Affinity deck. And a Thought Monitor. Okay. Seat of the Synod, Lotus Petal. They still have 2 cards in hand. Yeah, I mean, our opponents had a very strong open. 8 power on the table on turn 2. We'll take a draw. Burning Wish. We'll fetch. Grab a mountain. We don't need 2 Taigas. We'll play the Burning Wish. We don't have anything like a Shattering Spree. We do have Fiery Confluence, but it costs 4. So in order to cast it next turn, I'd have to sacrifice a Lotus Petal, but I think that's probably worth it. We will pass. And now they attack for 8. I will go to 11. Kappa Cannoneer. That was not a bad draw. They have 1 card in hand, so they can make that unblockable. So I am running out of time for this Elemental Eruption. Manamorphose. I'm going to start by cycling these Manamorphose because I don't think I'm going to be able to win the turn if I don't make dragons right now. So we'll make red. Okay, does that change the math at all? So if I Fiery Confluence, I have to play a land, Lotus Petal, Fiery Confluence, destroy the Chalice of the Void, and 2 creatures. I can then go Lotus Petal, Rite of Flame up to 6 mana. I'm sorry, up to 4 mana. But I need 6 for this Elemental Eruption. So I'd have to Manamorphose here into Seething Song or Namesticker Goblin or another Rite of Flame. Okay, Manamorphose. Pretty pleased, deck. Another Burning Wish. It makes 1 mana to go Burning Wish into the sideboard Rite of Flame. 1 mana is not good enough. I might be in a tough spot here. We'll play the Arid Mesa. Fetch. Grab the Taiga, I suppose. Play Lotus Petal. And now we will Fiery Confluence. I believe we want to destroy 3 artifacts. We're going to choose Chalice of the Void, the Sojourner's Companion, and Thought Monitor. They have 7 power in play. Once again, I can go Lotus Petal, Rite of Flame, which is 4. I can go down to 2 mana, play Burning Wish, go down to 1 mana to cast Rite of Flame, which would make 4 mana, which is 5. This costs 6. I think we're supposed to pass the turn. They play a Lotus Petal, so now they have 8 power. I'm going to fall to 2 life. They have 1 card in hand. We draw another Manamorphose. Rite of Flame. We'll play another Rite of Flame. Manamorphose. We'll make red. There's the Name Sticker Goblin we wanted last turn. We'll play Lotus Petal. Play the Name Sticker Goblin. How much mana do we make? Looks like 4 was the number. Well, Burning Wish. Yes. And I think we're supposed to grab Past in Flames. Cast Past in Flames. Storm is 7. Play Rite of Flame. And another. Manamorphose. Make red mana. Shatterskull Smashing. That's actually just worse than a land here. We have to Manamorphose again. Make red. Another Shatterskull Smashing. Brutal. We're down to our last Manamorphose. Red. So, this Fiery Confluence deals 1 to each creature. This is a 6/6. Our only hope is that our opponent doesn't have a single artifact they can play on their turn, which seems unlikely out of the Affinity deck that is almost exclusively artifacts. We'll play Elemental Eruption. I don't believe 13 Dragons is going to be enough here. What are the odds they have 2 spells they can't cast in their hand that are not artifacts? Like Double Ancient Tomb? For those of you that are wondering, this becomes unblockable whenever our opponent puts an artifact on the battlefield that turn. Urza's Saga. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. Come on, don't slow roll me like this. You're giving me a heart attack, opponent. Wow, no artifact. Holy moly. That win felt cobbled together. Alright, so our opponent played Chalice of the Void on 1. So it's interesting because we only had the 3 Rite of Flames. We just happened to have had a hand where it was good against us. We could bring in Pick Your Poison, but then we're making Chalice of the Void on 1 even better against us, and I don't know how I feel about that. I think the correct move here is actually to just resubmit, or take out one of these for a Rite of Flame, which might just be better anyway. Game number 2, we're on the draw. We've opened up a hand that has Rite of Flame, but no second land or mana to play Seething Song. But even if we did, we're 1 mana short of this Elemental Eruption anyway. I'm going to send it back. This seems fine. Get rid of the Bloodstained Mire. And this is a hand where not having an Elemental Eruption in the sideboard could bite us here, because it'd be the perfect card for this Burning Wish. We also don't have any Empty the Warrens in the sideboard either, so this card is just lacking some of the payoffs that Burning Wish would traditionally have. Empty actually seems really good in this sideboard. Like, if you did want to play all 4 Elemental Eruption in the main deck, I would understand. But I do think that maybe you're supposed to then play 1 Empty the Warrens. Our opponent off to a fast start here. Wow, okay. Pedal to the Metal. We draw another land. I'm going to Ren's Resolve. Burning Wish doesn't do anything if I cast it here. Manamorphose in a land. We will pass. They play an Otawara. They still have 2 cards in their hand. They play the Sojourner's Companion. They have 1 card left now. And a lot of power on the board. Okay. I'm going to go to 12. Rite of Flame that we can't use because of the Chalice of the Void. Let's start off with a Manamorphose. This is a pretty good example of if I had an Empty the Warrens in the sideboard, I could buy a lot of time. But instead we don't. We'll make red. That was our best draw. Play the land. We'll play Lotus Petal. Seething Song. We do need this to resolve. Metallic Rebuke. Yep. That's going to get us here. They have lethal on board. We're off to game number 3. Let's try that again. On the play. All mana, no gas. We'll send it back. I don't know how I feel about this one. We'll keep it and put the Shatterskull Smashing on the bottom of the deck. It looks like we've both kept 6-card hands this game. I'll play a Taiga and pass the turn. Seat of the Synod, Mox Opal, Lotus Petal. I like your Storm count. Chalice of the Void on 1. Yep. We only have the 4 Rite of Flames, but I've had them every game. Manamorphose. We'll play Taiga and pass. Urza's Saga. Sojourner's Companion. So they still have Metallic Rebuke open. On the end step, we will seek the beast. Okay, land. Seething Song is not the worst here. Namesticker Goblin. Okay. So if they don't have Metallic Rebuke, we can play Elemental Eruption. Let's attempt the Seething Song. And they do have the Metallic Rebuke. Oh no, it's Flusterstorm. Okay. They have one card remaining in hand we have to pass. Urza's Saga goes to the second chapter. They attack, will take 4, falling to 16 life. Chalice of the Void on 0. Okay. And of course we draw the Lotus Petal. Alright, we have to try Namesticker Goblin here. They have one card. It resolves, please be a 6. Nope, it's a 4. So we would not have to Manamorphose into Ancient Tomb, Namesticker Goblin, or... Actually, Seething Song doesn't even do it here. We'll make red. Actually, I should do red-green. The Shatter Skull Smashing, which is still 1 mana short. Okay, so I can Galvanic Relay here. We'll deal ourselves 3. I'm convinced this is just worse than a basic mountain, by the way. We'll play Burning Wish. Yes. We'll grab Galvanic Relay. Play out the Lotus Petal. We'll be countered by Chalice of the Void. And then Relay for 5. Manamorphose, Namesticker Goblin, Burning Wish, Rite of Flame that we can't use, and Seething Song. Not a bad 5 cards. So they will create a construct here that's going to be massive. Okay. And if they have the boots in their deck, we're really close to dead. There is a new card from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. I remember the set name. Where it's a 1-mana artifact. For 1 mana you can equip. And it gives your creature haste and ward 1. It's called Lava Spur Boots. And it would put me in a very dicey situation here. Our opponent can make another construct. Search their library for that card. Play a land. Equip the new construct. And then attack. They do make another construct. Grafdigger's Cage. Okay. And now they will attack. I'm going to block one of the construct tokens and we'll take 4, going down to 9. Another Sojourner's Companion. Yeah. Another Manamorphose. Let's start with the Namesticker Goblin because it's best to know how much mana we're making. Namesticker. 6 mana. There we go. Alright, so now Seething Song is going to put me up to 9. And now we can Burning Wish. And we'll go get the Fiery Confluence. And we're going to destroy 3 artifacts. The first being Chalice of the Void on 1. And then 2 construct tokens. We'll play Rite of Flame. Rite of Flame. And now we should have enough mana for the Elemental Eruption. We'll Manamorphose. Another Manamorphose. Okay. Increasing that Storm count that I'm covering up. Storm is 8. We draw a land. We'll play Manamorphose. And another land. How do we feel about 10 dragons in the air? Boom. We are in a decent spot here. Decent. Insert your favorite joke about me being a Targaryen. Soul Guide Lantern. You got it. They will draw a card. Basic Island. Look at that. We're now 2-0. There's 3 matches left. Let's go win those. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. We are back at it for the 3rd match. We're on the draw, and I'm going to keep this. Flooded Strand into Volcanic Island, Ponder. They did not shuffle on the Ponder. Manamorphose will play Shatter Skull Smashing. Pass the turn. Misty Rainforest, Dragon's Rage Channeler. And another Channeler. Okay. They have 3 cards. We find another Lotus Petal. Let's play Lotus Petal. And another Lotus Petal. And Ruby Medallion. Let's attempt a Manamorphose. Manamorphose resolves, we'll make red. We can now play another Manamorphose. Let's do that. You know, even if they counter this Manamorphose, I can still Galvanic Relay. That one also resolves, okay. What about a third Manamorphose? Are we into that? We'll do green-red this time. Let's attempt Namesticker Goblin. I feel like this one might eat a Force of Will based on their pauses. And it does! I love it. I love it so much. They surveil a Lightning Bolt and a Scalding Turn to the graveyard. And now we're going to Galvanic Relay for 9. The one Galvanic Relay in our main deck here. You love to see it. Our opponent casts a Brainstorm. They now play Mishra's Bauble, surveilling both cards to the graveyard, a Polluted Delta, and a Wasteland. They now use Mishra's Bauble. Attack for 6, will fall to 14 life. Our opponent's Dragon's Rage Channelers are now delirious, and I'm going to try to upset them by creating some dragons of my own. We'll play Ancient Tomb. Rite of Flame. Okay. They have 2 cards in hand. Let's try a Seething Song. Namesticker Goblin. And if they kill the Namesticker Goblin with the ability on the stack, I will not make mana. But that just makes more storm count for me, so I don't even care. That resolved. Let's play Ren's Resolve. Nothing we really care about here, a third Burning Wish. Let's play a Harnfell. Horn of Bounty. And our opponent concedes. Good deal. No sideboarding, we will just resubmit. You could bring in Pick Your Poison for, like, hitting their Dragon's Rage Channelers and, like, maybe they're one of Null Rod. But we have 4 Lotus Petals. We don't really care about Null Rod that much. If I'm being honest, I'm not sure what Pick Your Poison does in our sideboard. It hits, like, Deafening Silence or Damping Spheres. Neither of those cards are terribly popular. So I understand the function. I'm just wondering if you need 4. And I kind of think the sideboard Mindbreak traps are a little bit of a trap. Obviously, I'm aware of the, trap, haha. But I think Veil of Summer in our sideboard would actually be pretty good. So I'm interested in Leyline of the Void, Veil of Summer, maybe a couple copies less of Pick Your Poison, like 2 to 3 seems like the right number to me. We will try this out. Volcanic Island and pass the turn from the opponent. Good deal. We'll play the land that can be destroyed by Wasteland. Pass. They play Brainstorm in their main phase. And Wasteland. I'm okay with this because I feel like with our current hand, we're trying to buy time. And our opponent's not putting a clock on us. They're now going to redraw a card off that Brainstorm. I think it is just win-win here. We'll play Basic Mountain and send it back. So instead of shuffling their deck last turn, they redrew a card they might not have wanted. Because I played the Shatter Skull on the first turn. They play Mishra's Bauble and activate it. Okay. And they kept off the Ponder, just a heads up. Questing Druid. We'll play Scalding Turn and pass. Actually, let's play out the Lotus Petal. We lose a Storm here, but it means that my Seek the Beast cannot be countered by Daze. And they Ponder. Murktide Regent. That is a big dragon. I respect it. I know a little thing about dragons myself. Alright, so we will grab the Taiga here. And Seek the Beast. Ruby Medallion, Galvanic Relay. We'll play Ancient Tomb. Let's try the Ruby Medallion. That resolves. Manamorphose. We'll do red. Elemental Eruption. That was a good one. We'll Manamorphose again. If this resolves, we have 5 mana into the Elemental Eruption. So you could risk playing Ren's Resolve or Reckless Impulse here. I'm just going to make some dragons. I could Burning Wish into the sideboard Rite of Flame here. That is a use for the sideboard Rite of Flame. But if either of them get countered or dazed, I cannot Elemental Eruption. I'll try the Burning Wish. It resolved, okay. We'll grab the Rite of Flame. Play Rite of Flame. And they counter that one with a Force of Negation. Good deal. I believe we should just take our Galvanic Relay for 7 here. Okay, we'll try to come back next turn. They attack for 6. I will fall to 11 life. And now they have 4 cards in hand. They're passing the turn. A lot of mana here. That's good. We'll start with a Rite of Flame. What about another Rite of Flame? You could play Questing Druids. I don't think that's really worth it. Like, they're not going to be cards that are relevant this game. Let's try out a Namesticker Goblin. Namesticker Goblin. And it looks like they have a Lightning Bolt. Unholy Heat. Okay. So that's going to make 0 mana. I will play Seething Song from exile. They Force of Will the Seething Song. They have 1 card remaining in their hand. We'll play the land from our hand. And Manamorphose. We'll make 2 red mana. Another Namesticker Goblin. Seething Song. Let's try Namesticker Goblin number 2. And they have a Lightning Bolt. That's fine. So they are now Hellbent. I have 7 mana, so I can afford to Reckless Impulse here. Another Namesticker Goblin. Let's play that. Makes 5 mana. We'll play Birgi, the God of Storytelling. Let's use some colorless mana here. Now that they're Hellbent, I don't mind tapping the Ancient Tomb, because I was a little bit worried about them stopping me and then tapping the Tomb, going to 9 and dying to a Lightning Bolt. That won't happen anymore. And because we have both Birgi and the Ruby Medallion, these Ren's Resolves and Reckless Impulses are literally free. Okay, we'll play another. Storm is 15. Can I Seek the Beast? I can. Let's Seek the Beast. Our opponent concedes the match. We're 3-0. Feels pretty good so far. Let's see if we can win the last 2. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Cardholder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Let's hope we can continue to run hot. We're on the play in the 4th match. Okay. I think we can do better. We'll send it back. Once again, we find a hand without a payoff. Do I really want to go to 5, though? I don't think so. I'm going to begrudgingly keep this. We'll just try to play a little bit of a slower game. We'll play Mountain and pass the turn. Hopefully we get paired into a good matchup for once. Like, let's just see, like, green-white depths or lands or something. All right, Basic Forest. Enchantress. Okay. Ren's Resolve. We'll play Ruby Medallion. I don't know how our Enchantress matchup is, but we do have 4 copies of Pick Your Poison. They search out a Bayou. Nylea's Present, so they're on the version that has Leyline Binding in it. Abundant Growth, okay. Let's see what our Ren's Resolve can find. Ooh, Elemental Eruption, here we go. Namesticker Goblin. Let's make some mana. We make 6 mana. We'll play Ren's Resolve. We hit 2 cards that don't help us continue the chain. Unfortunate. So if they have a way to lock us out here, it's going to hurt. But 20 power worth of dragons should be decent. Alright, let's hope the dragon army can get the job done versus Enchantress. Our Gothian Enchantress enters the battlefield. Utopia Sprawl. They name White. Wild Growth floating a white. And they concede. Love it. So the question is, are you actually supposed to bring in Pick Your Poison? Which seems crazy because the card says each opponent sacrifices an enchantment. Yes, I get that. Cards that can theoretically kill enchantments are good. The thing is, our opponent's deck is full of Wild Growths, Utopia Sprawls, Abundant Harvests. Like, is spending 1 of my green mana worth them sacrificing 1 enchantment? And what are we boarding out to make that happen? So we could probably board out one of these Shatterskull Smashings for the Rite of Flame because we want speed. We do. And then we'd probably bring in 3 Pick Your Poison. So, like, we'd be boarding out Shatterskull Smashings as, like, a bad land better than them sacrificing a Wild Growth or Utopia Sprawl. I think we're supposed to submit this. I mean, I could be wrong, but this is what my gut's telling me is I just want to continue to be a better combo deck, so I'm going to try this out. Keep. Our opponent with the turn 1 Wild Growth. Lotus Petal's good. We'll play Ruby Medallion. It looks like we're going to be able to make some dragons on the 2nd turn. The number of them I don't know yet, but some number. At least 3. And then I could risk it all, just like Limp Bizkit, and Questing Druid or Seek the Beast, whatever. Namesticker Goblin, an amazing draw here. Let's play the Namesticker. Actually, no, they can't have Leyline Binding here because they don't have all the types yet. We make 6 mana. We will Seek the Beast. Okay. Let's Manamorphose. We'll make green. We have plenty of red. We'll play the Questing Druid. Play Seething Song. Our Druid will get a little bit bigger. Rite of Flame. And Elemental Eruption. Alright. I feel like our Gothian Enchantress right now Uh, their experience is like being in King's Landing at the end of Game of Thrones with all the dragons, going nuts. Devoted Druid. They have the Swift reconfiguration. Are we dead here? They have infinite green mana. Okay, maybe we're getting turn 3'd. Spicy deck. They play a land. They have 2 cards left. Their 2 cards have to be good enough to stop us or win. Sits Harvest Hand. Utopia Sprawl. So they have infinite green mana. And they have 2 draws cards in play. So they might have me here. 3 cards. Green Sun Zenith for 2. Another Argothian. Destiny Spinner. So they'll draw 3. I think they've probably beaten me here. No! They fizzled! Wow. Insane. Okay, look at us. So we're now 4-0, about to play for our trophy with Elemental Eruption. This is exciting. I will see you in the 5th match. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The 5th and final round for the trophy. We're on the draw, and I've opened up a hand that is not good enough. We're going to send it back. Sure, we'll try this and get rid of the Taiga. Scalding Tarn. Mishra's Bauble. So likely one of the blue-red Delver variants. It could be Temur, it could be Grixis, who knows. They draw a card off the Mishra's Bauble. Play Arid Mesa. Delver of Secrets, sure thing. Reckless Impulse. I'm just going to play the Shatterskull Smashing here, and then we'll pass the turn. Delver of Secrets does not flip, and our opponent keeps the card. They could have fetched it away, they did not. It was likely this Wasteland. And now they will destroy our Shatterskull Smashing. We will take 1. I go to 19. Ruby Medallion. Let's attempt Ruby Medallion through days because of this Arid Mesa. Force of Will? What? No Justice. And they exile Daze. They have 3 cards remaining. We will pass the turn. Delver of Secrets transforms, revealing Ponder. They then cast the Ponder. They shuffled. That's a good sign. Another Wasteland. That's actually really brutal here. Oh my. Okay. They still have 3 cards in hand, but I am not liking my position. You draw another Birgi, which is a terrible draw here. This card was already clunking up my hand. We'll grab a basic. Play the Rite of Flame. Manamorphose. I just need to hit my land drops here. We'll make 2 red. I think we're supposed to Reckless Impulse. Okay, and we did hit lands. Pass the turn. They play a Scalding Tarn, still 3 in hand. They attack. I'll go to 10. Manamorphose is a fine draw. Let's play Ruby Medallion. I don't like this whole fetching in response thing. Come on. Come on, just let me have my artifact. Is this a hardcast Force of Negation? You usually don't see Force of Negation in the main deck of Delver these days. And it is. Okay. We are running out of time. Another Wasteland. So double Force, triple Wasteland. I'm going to fall to 7 life. Elemental Eruption, I do not have the mana for that. We'll fetch. Also, this game twice now I've had Shatterskull Smashing Wastelanded. Or if that was just a basic mountain, we would not be in this spot. So that's a little frustrating. I'm actually just dead to Lightning Bolt here. So I should grab Rite of Flame and hope that they don't have it. And it looks like they do. No, not a Lightning Bolt. Okay. Well, that kills me out as well. Okay. So we're going to lose game number 1. So now we need to win both post-board games versus Rug Delver. I think we want the extra land versus Delver, even though it gets destroyed by Wasteland. So I'm going to leave the Rite of Flame in the sideboard. And we will resubmit. On the play for game number 2. Uh-oh. Unfortunately, we can't keep this. It was so close to being good. I think we will keep this. Bottom the Reckless Impulse. We need a lot to go right for this hand to work, but it has the potential. Player land past the turn. And they have Wasteland. If only this were a basic mountain. Ancient Tomb, a very good draw here. Ruby Medallion. Our card resolved. I love it. Tropical Island. They have 7 in hand. I think I'm going to wait. I know it seems a little bit crazy, but I don't like the fact that we can only make 3 dragons here, and we're a little bit weak to force. So I'm going to choose to try to draw another spell. They play Ponder. They did not shuffle. Another tropical island. What are you doing over there? Seething Song number 3. Let's try it. Seething Song. They Hydroblast. We will pass the turn. So you could have played another Seething Song because we have the Ruby Medallion, but then you're playing in a Daze. I'm in a spot where I'm not forced to play into that card, so I'm not going to. Volcanic Island. Dragon's Rage Channeler. And a Ponder. Surveils away a Delver of Secrets. And then they play a Delver of Secrets. They have 4 cards remaining. Burning Wish is a great draw. We will play Seething Song. Force a Negation, exiling Daze. They kept their card on top. I have a feeling they might have another Daze. I'm going to pass. They flip the Delver's Secrets into Insectile Aberration by revealing Ponder. They play the Ponder. Wasteland would actually be kind of a tough card for us to deal with here because we need the Ancient Tomb. They did not shuffle. Mishra's Bauble. And then they use the Bauble. So they have 2 cards in hand. Well, now they have 1, but they're about to draw a card off of the Mishra's Bauble. We'll take 6 here, going down to 8. Okay. We need them to not have a counterspell for 1 turn. Another Ancient Tomb. So we'll play that. And we'll attempt another Seething Song. They should let this one resolve. I mean, they see how much mana I have. But it looks like they're trying to counter it. Seek the Beast. They hit Misty Rainforest, Dragon's Rage Channeler. Burning Wish. Yes. Oddly enough, I could Past in Flames here, but if for some reason our opponent sided in Surgical Extraction, it would wreck me. I think I'll get Inspired Tinkering instead. We will play Inspired Tinkering. We hit lands and Burning Wish. We'll cast the Burning Wish. Yes. We'll grab Grape Shot. And we have 6 mana at the moment. This is a Grape Shot for 6. We'll do 1 at them, 2 at the Delver Secrets, 3 at the Dragon's Rage Channeler. And then I'm going to end up at 4 life, which is enough to live through a Lightning Bolt. And we're going to Storm 7 Elemental Eruption. We're going to get 7 Flying Dragons with Prowess. Okay, so they have a draw step here. They can play 1 Dragon's Rage Channeler as a blocker, but that's not going to be good enough. Off to game number 3. Resubmit. For the marbles, we're on the draw for game number 3. We're going to keep this. Misty Rainforest. And they are passing. Ruby Medallion is a good one. We'll play the Shatterskull Smashing. Pass. On our end step, they search out Volcanic Island and cast a Brainstorm. They have Wasteland. I am so sick of this land being destroyed by Wasteland. It feels so bad. Just give me basic mountains. Yep. They have 5 cards in their hand. Another Ruby Medallion. Okay, I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to try to resolve a Ruby Medallion. And I think that we're supposed to try to play through Daze. Rite of Flame. Ruby Medallion. Pass the turn. They play Ponder. Gets rid of Volcanic Island. They did shuffle off the Ponder. Misty Rainforest. They'll attack for 1 by the looks of it. I'll fall to 18 life. Manamorphose. Let's try Manamorphose. We'll make red. Another Ruby Medallion. Let's try Ren's Resolve. They search out Volcanic. And Hydroblast. Okay, sure. They kept the card on top. Seek the Beast. Mountain. Might as well try the Seething Song here, because I'm going to lose it anyway. We'll play Ruby Medallion. And another Ruby Medallion. Not a whole lot going on with my hand at the moment. Tropical Island. Uh-oh, I don't like this. No, don't do it. Yep. Meltdown for 2. 3 Ruby Medallions. I mean, that was my fear. I didn't need to play out the 3rd one, but I don't know if we would have been able to come back from 2 being destroyed anyway. Just devastating. That hurts. We'll try Ren's Resolve. We have to pass. Seething Song Elemental Eruption is nice, but I can't cast either of those. Like, I guess if I drew Ancient Tomb as my next draw step, but then our opponent needs to not have any interaction, they play Ponder. I can't help but think of how different this game would be if we just didn't get our lands destroyed, but like because we're playing Shatter Skull Smashing. Like, this card is so bad. In this deck. Like, I get it when you're playing Chrome Mox, like, it serves multiple purposes. But in this deck, it's just a mountain that can be destroyed that lightning bolts you. Rite of Flame. So technically, that allows us to do this. We'll play the Rite of Flame. They fetch in response. Seek the Beast. They kept a card on top. Brainstorm Delver Secrets. We need their Brainstorm to just miss here. That's the only way I can win this. Rite of Flame. Somehow that resolved. Seething Song. And there's the Force of Negation. Brutal. I think that's going to be the match. We're about to lose the Elemental Eruption here. Alright, so they can play the Questing Druid. And they do. And Delver. It's a lot of power. They still have one card in hand, too. Okay, they swing for 1. I go to 15. Arid Mesa. So you could fetch and play the Questing Druid. I don't know why you would. So one, it's a 1/1 versus their much larger army. And then you would lose your Taiga to Wasteland. Their last card was Lightning Bolt. I can't help but think that maybe they should have bolted me prior to combat. Because then their Dragon's Reach Channeler would have been Delirious. Maybe it just doesn't matter, but... actually, hold on. So if this flips, that goes 9. I guess yeah, okay, so it would have been better because then I couldn't fetch. Their Delver does not flip. So how I win this game, I think, is I draw exactly Elemental Eruption, and then Namesticker Goblin resolves, and make 6 mana. I'm at 5. I will fetch with my Arid Mesa. They must have drawn another Wasteland. That's the only way this play makes sense. We'll grab a basic. Come on, deck, pretty please. For the trophy. Let's see it. So you're saying there's a chance. Come on. Let's go. 6 mana. Come on, pretty please. Give me 6 mana. 6 mana. 4 mana. Brutal. And they have lethal on board. So close. So close. We only got the 4/1. That was exciting. Once again, though, Shatter Skull Smashing was just by far the worst card in this deck. So I would not recommend playing that. I think that the main deck, other than that, was pretty good. I did use the sideboard Rite of Flame a few times. To its credit, that did come up. I do think that maybe it should still be in the main deck, and then maybe moving one of these Elemental Eruptions to the sideboard, or playing an Empty the Warrens. I think either of those would be fine. I do think the Tormod's Crypts should be Leyline of the Void still. I really don't think this is a good Mindbreak Trap deck. I think the Leylines will get you a little bit further. And then some number of Veil of Summer / Pick Your Poisons. You could figure out how to rework the sideboard to fit all of this, but these are just suggestions. You're welcome to disagree with me. My feelings won't be hurt. But that's my feedback on the deck list. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like, comment, and or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Keep storming. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested, you can visit theepicstorm.com/donation-decks to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. You can even join me in a video in the Epic tier. It's totally worth it, I promise. And see ya. Thanks for watching.